Welcome everybody for coming and attending this launch event. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching. The audience in the session is drawn from staff, academic staff, administrative staff, and students from AAP universities, that is MSU and 10 African universities. And African universities include both Francophone attendees and interpretation is available. We advise you from Francophone countries to check on your screen on the lower side, there is an interpretation button. Kindly switch it on so that you get the interpretation. For those from Anglophone attendees, don't do anything, just listen. I am Josiah Omolo, Director Marketing and Resource Mobilization from Egerton University. I'll be the MC for today, and together with my colleague, Thembi Tlale. Please, Thembi, take over.
Thank you, Josiah. Good morning and good afternoon, and a warm welcome to all of you. Shortly, we will be showing a brief video about the bridge. This video will provide a guideline in terms of signing up. We will also explain the new AAP program, Partnerships for Innovative Research in Africa, PIRA. Please send questions at any time through the Q&A function, and we will answer as many as possible before the end of today's event. We also invite people to introduce themselves in the chat box with their names and institutional affiliations. Please be sure to select the option of sharing your message with all panelists and attendees so all can see it.
So now we'll introduce the Alliance for African Partnership team. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon and good evening. My name is Amy Jameson. I'm co-director of the Alliance for African Partnership based in our Michigan State University office.
Hi, greetings to everyone. My name is Jose Jackson Maleti, and I'm the co-director in the MSU office. Thank you.
Good morning and good afternoon. My name is Richard Mkandawire. I'm the Africa Director for the Alliance for African Partnership based in Lilongwe, Malawi. Linked to Luana, the Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources.
Good day, everyone. My name is Justin Rabina. I'm the program liaison with the MSU AAP office.
Derek. Hello, everyone. Sorry. I'm Derek Tobias. I'm the program manager at the MSU AAP office.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Elena Lawrence, and I'm the program assistant for the AAP office at the US office.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Furjay. I am the event coordinator for the Alliance for African Partnership at the MSU office. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tony Milanzi. I'm the assistant director in the Africa office. Thank you.
Is Isaac there? Wisdom, maybe you can go in.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm Wisdom Nelson Chingwede. I'm the communications coordinator for the African Alliance for African Partnership at the Africa office in Malawi.
Thanks, Wisdom. And I believe Isaac Minde, who's the associate director based in Tanzania with our Africa office, was having some connectivity issues, so we hope he will join us shortly. Now, Richard, I'll hand it over to you for an overview.
Thank you very much, Amy. And again, welcome again, colleagues from USA as well as from across Africa. I'll give a very quick overview of the AAP model and what it is. In brief, AAP was born out of the awareness that traditional models of cooperation that are driven by Northern institutions do not fit into today's realities in Africa. Such traditional models of partnerships, although they purport to addressing issues of interest for the African continent, the proposed solutions are largely what one may call Eurocentric, reflecting a tendency to interpret the African world in terms of European or Anglo-American values and experiences. The AAP model hence focuses on the co-creation and equitable partnerships in which voices of African institutions are recognized. The governance structure ensures that our African institutions are well represented. With regard to the partnerships with African universities, rather than simply building the capacity of individual faculty, the AAP model focuses on building the capacity of institutions in order to transform them into key players in research and interventions to address issues in their countries and on the continent. In addition, rather than looking at a collaboration between African institutions and Northern institutions, AAP is also committed to enhancing collaboration among African institutions themselves through knowledge exchanges, research collaboration, and capacity building initiatives. Through this AAP initiative, would like to see African institutions build the confidence to see themselves as creators of knowledge and that they have something to contribute to other partners, including our Northern partners. Furthermore, we would like to see partner institutions in Africa asserting themselves and beginning to play a critical and prominent roles in the development agenda of their own countries. Very often, we do not actually reach out to public institutions such as governments. It is critical that we advance this need for interaction with public institutions as well, especially governments. In brief, therefore, we see AAP as an institutional innovation. We see it as a paradigm shift on how Northern institutions structure their partnerships with African institutions. With these few remarks, I would like to hand over to Wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prof. Richard Kandawire, for that introduction. I'll take you into our next session, which is a promotional video that's telling us what the bridge is all about. This bridge is, we're hoping, going to answer your initial questions, and then probably during the sessions, as we get into the rest of the events of the launch, you'll get a little more details about what this is all about. So Justin is going to play the video, thinking both Anglo and Francophone versions. Justin. Amy?
Yep. Thanks, Wisdom, and thanks, Justin, for playing that. I hope this gives you an exciting overview of our new digital platform, and we want to again thank you all for joining us today. We're very excited about launching this platform and about having you all engage in this and kind of seeing the breadth of our AAP community. So I want to acknowledge those who had the original vision for this bridge, for what has now become the AAP bridge. We had a team that was spearheading looking at digital platforms and constructing what should be included in a digital platform.
Nous dire qu'elle... Nous n'entendons plus l'oratrice.
Oui, il y a quelque chose.
Nous n'entendons plus. Est-ce que vous m'entendez? Alors, Bridge est une nouvelle plateforme numérique pour soutenir la collaboration entre membres de l'Alliance.
Justin, I'm getting Marie Ida in the main chat.
Yep, I think she got off the interpretation channel. I'll take care of it.
Okay, great, thank you. Thanks everyone. A little bit of technical difficulty, but we'll move on. Again, I wanted to acknowledge those who sort of pioneered this initiative. Jamie Monson, who's the was formerly the co-director of the AAP and is the director.
Est-ce que vous m'entendez maintenant?
Vous êtes sur la chaîne?
There, we're good.
The main channel, okay. Sorry about that. And the PowerPoint is no longer showing, Justin. Thank you. So Jamie Monson, who is the African Studies Center Director at Michigan State University, and Candace Keller, who's a faculty member at MSU, were on the original team that kind of conceptualized what a digital platform could look like, and then for the AAP. And then Cholani Webade and Hashini Galhena, who were two of our AAP grantees in our first round, started with the prototype of this bridge that we now have today. And so we want to thank all of those who did the hard work in pioneering this to get us to the point where we are now. Currently the bridge so as I said, the bridge is a new digital platform to support collaboration across AAP members. And currently it is open to all AAP member university faculty, staff, and students. Anyone with an email address affiliated with an AAP member university. And those AAP member universities are the University Cheikh Anta Diop of Dakar in Senegal, University of Letters and Human Sciences in Bamako, University of Nigeria in Nsukka, University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, Egerton University in Kenya, United States International University, also in Kenya, Makerere University, Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources in Malawi, the University of Botswana, and University of Pretoria in South Africa. I think I've covered all of our 11 members, and MSU is a member of the AAP. And this, the AAP members are going to be the first wave of users for this platform. And we anticipate in the future that we'll be opening up the ability to create a profile and engage with the bridge to other partners. But you are our pioneers. You are the ones who will be the first to engage with this site. Currently, also, the bridge is a web-based platform, so you'll be able to access it through the internet. But we will be releasing an app for this shortly, and that's currently in development. So please stay tuned for that launch as well. So now I'd like to go over some of the benefits of the AAP bridge and some of the functionality. First, the AAP bridge is a learning and knowledge sharing platform. there's a feed on the site where you can post articles or other content, where you can make comments, where you can engage with others in our AAP community. Second, it is a resource for information, new research, and funding opportunities. There is a grants and fellowships tab, which we'll show you in just a few minutes, where you can post and see what, we can post yourself, any opportunities that you find, and see what others have posted there. You're also able to form teams under that function, and we'll go over that a bit more in detail in a minute. And you're able to find partners for collaborative work. Again, it's a resource for information. You'll be able to see what others have posted and share your own work. It's also a way to share your work with a wide audience. So if you have a new article that you've just published that you want to share with colleagues, or if you've just put out a book, you could share that release with people as well, so that you can start to engage them around questions. If you have research that you're just starting and want to engage an audience or collaborators in that space, you can create a group on the site around a particular topic area. And we've organized things around our 6 priority areas of the AAP. And it is a linking point for researchers, administrators, and students. We encourage everyone to create a robust profile on the site, and then you're able to search for connections by people who are doing work in a particular country, based at a particular institution, or working on a particular area of research. And you can do a search of the site for that and find people to connect to. And then it's a professional development space. We have a playlists is a function on the site, and this is where you can add resources that are relevant to professional development. An example would be grant writing and publishing. Many researchers would like more information or to do professional development around this topic, and so there's an opportunity to share resources in the space around that. We also have a library group that's been working across the AAP consortium, and I'm anticipating that they'll use this space to share professional development resources as well. So that is a general overview of the types of things that you could use the AAP Bridge for. I'll now turn it over to Justin, who will demonstrate how you can sign up for the Bridge. I should also mention that if you have any Q&A, please leave that in the Q&A. Click on the Q&A button below and leave it in the Q&A section, and we'll be addressing those shortly. Justin?
To sign up and create an AAP Bridge profile, first click on the Sign Up button on the homepage. Create a username and type in your member institution email address. Once you do, you'll be taken to a user login page where you will confirm your email and password. Soon on the Bridge, you'll be able to add a secondary email address where you can also receive notifications. But to sign up, you must use an email address associated with an AAP member institution. Here's what you'll see if you use an unassociated email. Once you sign up, you will receive this email in your inbox. Click on the orange button to get started. You will then be taken to a page where you'll be prompted to create a password. And your account is ready to go. Now you want to make sure that you're updating your profile. Go to My Profile and then click the Edit tool. You'll be able to add a profile picture and fill out all your information below. Having this information will make interacting with other members on the bridge a lot easier.
Thanks, Justin. And yeah, I encourage you, I see some questions rolling in, so I encourage you to keep that up and we will address those shortly. Josiah?
Thank you, Emmy. To audience, I think now you have heard a little about the bridge. We will now take this opportunity to introduce you to PIRA, P-I-R-A. PIRA grants are an opportunity to use the bridge to build teams and forge partnerships across institutions. And we'll use that today to demonstrate how bridge works. And with that, I would like to invite Jose to take us through the PIRA grants.
Thank you so much, Josiah. And thank you again, colleagues, for joining us today. We are really excited about this, about the bridge and our new program that we're going to launch today. So the program, as you heard, is called the Partnerships for Innovative Research in Africa, PIRA grants. We're so excited as well about the new name that we have for our grants. And we are hoping that we will be able to use the bridge and use this grant, this new grant program to make you work on the bridge. So this is a consortium-wide initiative, and we are expecting all of our consortium members to participate fully in this. We're also collaborating with a number of units on the MSU campus. This, for example, the African Studies Center, the Asian Studies Center, Asia Nexus, the Center for Latin American and Caribbean Studies, the Global Youth Advancement Network, and there are a couple of others that we're still continuing to talk with to see how can we build this into a larger and more, a larger program where more faculty across all of our consortium can access. So we're launching this today. We have 4 categories that we will be working on, and we'll share that a little later. As you know, the AAP has 6 priority areas. So whatever your research is that you're proposing, it must be in one of these 6 areas: agri-food systems, water, energy and the environment, culture, youth empowerment, education, health, and nutrition. I'm sure everyone can find themselves there. So we may have to be a little bit creative, but we know you can find yourself. So let's move on. Next slide. So the PIRA program, we will have 3 tiers of funding. So if you want to apply for a small grant where you're just starting up, you're just looking for your networks, this is $50,000. Then a planning grant is where you have found your network maybe, and then you're starting to do a small research program. That's a planning grant, and that's $100,000. If you're scaling up now to a larger program, maybe multi-country and so on, that is $200,000, okay? So we have 3 tiers of funding, which all teams in all of the categories can apply for. The 4 categories are as follows: youth transformation, and this is where we are partnering with the Global Youth Advancement Network at MSU. And it's really about advancing a new platform that we've just established called the African Youth Transformation Platform. And the mission is really to transform the lives of African youth and their communities. And you'll be able to read more about this on our website, okay? I'm just going to give you some highlights of each one of these. And again, if you look closely, teams must include 1 PI from MSU, 1 PI from an African AAP university, and representation of a youth leader and a youth or a youth serving organization, okay? The Africa-Asia Trans-Regional Grants is really now our efforts to strengthen Africa-Asia research. And we have here, we're going to be working with a number of our units here on campus and strengthening the Africa-Asia research programming. Again, same thing, we must have a PI from MSU, must have a PI from an African AAP university, and at least one PI from an Asian university. And we're looking at all Asia, all across Asia. So from any Asian region, okay? Then we are focusing in on our early career researchers. We got this loud message from one of our town hall meetings that we held last year, I believe, that we don't have enough programming for early career researchers. And so we have included this category where the early career researcher will be the PI. And of course, this can include other types of colleagues as well. You can have senior, junior colleagues, graduate students, whatever, also included. And an early career researcher is defined as anyone with a PhD within the past 10 years. We're looking more at, assistant professors. We're looking at postdocs, perhaps, lecturers, senior lecturers. I think once you've gotten tenure, you are sort of seen to be not so much in the early career, but we have defined it as post PhD 10 years, okay? And then the last category is a new one that, our team has been working around the idea of strengthening our work around the African diaspora. And so we've included this category to have greater engagement around African diaspora research, innovation, and capacity building. And again, this would include a PI from MSU, a PI from an African AAP university, and at least one PI from Latin America and or Caribbean university. So we're looking forward to receiving applications in these 4 categories. And one of the things that we want to also mention is you can include colleagues from other universities that are not, required. So you can have someone from a non-African AAP university, but you must obviously make sure that you meet the eligibility requirement of having the, those basic ones. Okay, thank you. Justin, next one. So again, I say about eligibility, the lead investigators, as we talked about, you must have from MSU, from AAP African University, an Asian university for the Africa-Asia trans-regional grants, and then Latin American and Caribbean universities for the African diaspora grants. If you don't have these, we will not be able to continue with the review of your proposal. So make sure that at least you have those. As I mentioned, you can have other institutions globally that are part of your consortium. There's no problem with that. And we encourage you to look at the private sector, to look at the public sector, civil society, and perhaps Pan-African organizations. We want to have different people around the table who can actually solve the challenges and provide solutions to these challenges, perhaps also looking at policy implications and so on to transform lives, which is our vision at the AAP. There are 2 things that you must note. So PIs, co-PIs who received grants under round 1 of our partnership grants. So we began this partnership grants in around 2017. So people who received grants from that program are not eligible to be PIs. You can be part of the team, but you cannot be the PI. MSU ISP staff, so people who are based at ISP, like myself, Amy, and others, we are not eligible, obviously, we are not eligible, but others in other units at ISP are not eligible to lead proposals. Perhaps you could be in a team, but this is really targeting faculty at our consortium universities. Okay, thanks. Next one. So what is needed to apply? It's the usual things, of course, a cover sheet, the description of the partnership, how you've come together, a problem statement, a clearly defined set of objectives of your proposal, of your proposed partnership, and a description of your program activities as well as the logical framework. So we want to make sure that you guys are able to monitor and evaluate and learn from your project as you implement. And also, what are the potential sources of additional funding? And we're going to look at this very carefully because we want to make sure that these projects are going to be leading to larger projects for the consortium. We also need a timeline of activities, and then very important, we need to have letters of support from your institutions. Very important, because we need to make sure that there's institutional commitment for these types of programs. Thank you. Next one. What is the selection criteria? The evidence of being aligned, your program being aligned to the AAP partnership principles. And we've talked a bit about some of these, you know, being equitable, transparent, ethical, you know, all those kinds of things that AAP stands for. And you can see some of these on the AAP website, what these are. These are what we are looking for. How can you use those and integrate them into the project that you're working on? Of course, you have to have alignment with our 3 pillars, which are listed here: building bridges, transforming institutions, and the ultimate transforming lives. So how is your work, you know, aligned to those 3 pillars? And I did mention earlier about the 6 research priority areas. We also want to see what is the potential for impact in your discipline, but also around people's lives. Is your work going to do anything to change people's lives? Because that's what we want ultimately. And what is the potential for leveraging additional funding? I mentioned that. We are now living in a new age. This is the COVID era, and we need to have a contingency plan for what if COVID doesn't change significantly next year. How will you implement your project in a COVID era? And I think we're going to be looking at that one also very carefully. As I mentioned before, a thorough MEL plan, and then we want to make sure that you're thinking about diversity and inclusion issues, okay? Next one. So things that are not eligible expenses, salary of the regular salary for MSU faculties is not an eligible expense. We are going to allow summer salary, but not the usual, the academic year salary. And of course, I think we will have salaries for our African colleagues. So things that are not listed here are eligible. We unfortunately will not be able to support indirect costs. We are expecting that there will be contributions from our consortium members and from those who are other institutions that are participating. And therefore, we will not support indirect costs. So any budgets that include that, unfortunately, again, we will not be able to support. Any equipment that exceeds $5,000, again, we will not be able to support that. Anything that's construction related, etc. Next one. So what is the timeline? So we are launching the call today. Very excited, as I said. And then on October 14th, we will have a Q&A session to go through, answer any questions that you may have, but we'll also have a grant writing workshop jointly with a new unit on the MSU campus called Global Ideas. On November 27th, that is the deadline in which you must submit by midnight. And then we will have announcement of the awards by February 22nd. And then we're going to work with those who have been selected to finalize budgets and work plan. And we hope to do that by March 12th. And then the deadline for you to begin your project is June 14th. We're really looking forward to this whole new project, this whole new program of grants. We know it's going to bring in a number of new networks. It's going to bring for us a number of new partnerships that we hope we'll be able to leverage for larger support for our consortium. I think that is my cue for being done. Justin, what's the next slide? Yeah, that's me. Thank you so much, colleagues, and we're looking forward to getting many applications. We are very excited, as you can tell from all of us, about the bridge and about the PIRA grants. Thanks, bye.
All right, thank you, Jose. So now that we've gone over what the bridge is and gone over what the PIRA grants are, we would like to show you how to go about pursuing an application for PIRA if you are interested. So I'm going to share my screen and take us through the website here. All right. So we are looking at the home page of the bridge when you sign in. If you're interested in a grant and fellowship, you can see that on the left side tab here. If we click through, this will take us to the grant and fellowship page. Featured prominently first here is the PIRA grant. So if we click on that, it takes us to a more informative description of this fellowship opportunity. And that is true of any grant or fellowship that is posted on the bridge. There are a few different ways to pursue an opportunity if you're interested. You could click on interested in this grant, and then that will list you under people interested. If you come to a grant and you want to see who else is interested, you can just click on this tab and it'll have listed people you might want to contact to create collaborations around. Or you can start your own collaborative group if nobody is currently interested in something, or if perhaps you know of a team already, if you have partners in mind, you can come here, create a little group, and then you would be able to invite people once that group is created. But let me go back quickly here. So in order to apply for the specific PIRA grant, we would like all applications to be sent to aap@msu.edu by November 27th, as Jose mentioned. And also we have more information on our website by clicking through. All of the grants and fellowships that we have listed have the links to the original postings for additional information. But as you can see here, we have a lot more information about this grant, including the deadline, how to submit, and all of the requirements for submission. Also on the webpage that is linked through the bridge, we have the templates, any kind of downloadable file that you would need with your application package. So that is all found on our website, which can be accessed through the bridge by following the the grants and fellowships opportunity here. And also I want to mention while we're here, if you have a grant and fellowship that you are aware of that you want to advertise, you can also, from the grants and fellowships tab, create a new grant and fellowship. And then that would be posted for everybody to see who is a member of the bridge. And I believe that is my time.
Tembi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, colleagues. This is a really exciting project. I'm sure a lot of our colleagues have questions. I can see in the Q&A that we've got a few questions just asking for clarity following the presentations. Please feel free to send your questions through in the chat function, and we will respond to those questions. The first question is around what happens to a university which is not among the listed universities and is interested in the program. Can one of our colleagues from AAP assist with this?
Yes, I can jump in, and then I'll ask Justin, Derek, or Elena to also give some details. But basically, we wanted to roll out amongst our AAP members as sort of the pioneers in this, and so we don't grow too big too quickly. But if there are collaborators that you are working with actively and would have access in the space, an AAP member, someone who is a member of an AAP institution can request to have us add a person to the website. And so that can be done through sending to the AAP support at, what's the email address, Justin?
Support@aapbridge.com.
support@aapbridge.com. And so if you have someone, if you're an AAP member, you're working at an AAP member institution and you have someone that you want to bring on or collaborate, or if there's someone you know that could really benefit from the bridge, we request that you send an email to that, and we can then manually add those people to the bridge. We are anticipating rolling this out to a wider audience once we get established, and that will be Justin, what is the estimated time frame for that? About 6 months?
Yeah, we kept it loose, but 6 months has sort of been the ballpark that we've been shooting for. So
if you are, I see someone also from another university in Nigeria. If you would like to reach out to someone at an AAP member institution to invite you to join, or wait for that 6 month, and we'll send a wide blast out to everyone to get people on the site. Anything to add from my colleagues? Okay.
Nothing from me.
Thank you all.
It's fine, it's fine. You said it correctly.
Good.
Thank you. On to the next question. It's around what can institutions, e.g. in Africa, that have some faculties working collaboratively with or want to work with other faculties or institutions that are not on the list. So basically the question is, what happens to institutions that want to work collaboratively with institutions that are not on the AAP list?
Yeah. Again, those faculty members who are part of AAP, or researchers, students, etc., can invite those others to join the bridge. So we'll do that on an invitation basis coming from our AAP members. Mm-hmm. For individuals.
Okay, thanks, Amy. We've got another question here. The person would like to find out, if I write a proposal in Kenya, then get a partner from MSU, must I get others from Asia, Caribbean, etc.? It is often very hard to get partners from other regions. What are your thoughts, colleagues?
Isaac, can you jump in here and explain how the partnerships work?
Yeah, are we referring to the question which is on the screen right now? Sorry, what is the question again?
If I must write a proposal in Kenya, then get a partner from MSU, must I get others from Asia, Caribbean, etc.? Yeah, so basically the person is saying it's very difficult to get partners from other regions, so they want to know if they need to find the other collaborative partners.
Yeah, first of all, I think AAP is also there to assist in getting partners to some extent. But I think we expect the person who is proposing to be able to kind of capture within a reasonable time those partners that are needed. But if some help is needed, the AAP management can also step in and assist.
And also, just to add to Isaac's comment, we'll also be working, remember, with other centers and units on campus, on the MSU campus. So the Asian Studies Center, we will reach out to them for Asian universities if people need a partner in a specific area. The Asia Nexus, the African Studies Center, the Center for Latin American and Caribbean Studies, and also the Global Youth Advancement Network. So we have resources that would help us to identify partners for consortium building. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for that. We've got another question here. They'd like to find out if AAP focal persons are eligible as PIs.
Yes. AAP focal persons can be eligible,
And in fact, beyond that, we would like also them to basically do their requested duty of ensuring that, you know, they lead the process and they kind of lure in individuals, they look for them, etc., etc. But in short, they are eligible. They can be members of the team. Yeah.
Thanks, Isaac. The next question we have is, can the program also support graduate students from the member institutions?
In fact, graduate students are encouraged and they can be part of the team because, again, AAP is about encouraging mixed teams in terms of gender, in terms of students, in terms of the level of qualifications of the team members, etc. So there is no reason why a postgraduate student cannot be a member of the team.
Okay, yeah, that's really great to know. I'm sure there are quite a few postgrad students who are interested in these initiatives. I think this is quite specific to MSU, but the question is, how does one get an MSU researcher to partner with for this grant?
Jose, you want to jump in?
Sorry, yes. So it's the same thing as we mentioned. If you need support with identifying partners, contact us at aap.msu.edu. We will try our best to assist in identifying partners at MSU and in any of the other regions through our partnerships that we have with other units and so on campus, as we mentioned. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And you can also use the AAP bridge to find partners, and that's the intention of the bridge. Is you can contact us, but as people are filling out their profiles online, you can search the bridge and find partners from AAP member institutions, including MSU.
Thank you, Amy and Jose. Yeah, this next question is quite pertinent given the current working environment we're all in at the moment with the COVID pandemic. The question is research support open to distance or online learning?
I think in the call, there is a phrase which is also talking about the fact that given the proposal, you have to basically explain what will happen, for example, if COVID-19 continues to be a constraint. What are the what are the options to get around it? And so AAP is very open to, is quite flexible in terms of allowing even 70% of the research to be online, because it depends on the problems, it depends on the nature of the problem, and it depends really on whether the online by itself can make you basically, achieve the purpose of what you want to do. So we don't want to be so rigid. The question of basically waiting to see what a team is proposing. Yeah. Would other members of the team like to add to what I'm saying?
If there aren't any other comments from colleagues, we have another question here. In the Youth Empowerment Grant, is the youth leader required to be a PI, a national leader, or any youth organization leader?
For that one,
let me respond to that.
Okay, go ahead, Richard.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, AAP, as Isaac pointed out, believes in inclusivity. We believe that out there, the young people who are driving their own empowerment processes. And maybe even the concept empowerment is a misnomer because they're the ones who should be providing the leadership. And many of them are capable of, defining, very innovative programs. So yes, certainly, including youth organizations, there's no question whatsoever why they cannot actually become the PIs. I would like to encourage that. But naturally, I mean, would make sure, would like to see that they're also linked up with, credible institutions, that can provide, the additional backing of their work. If it is research, there must be a record of both themselves, but also of the institutions they're affiliated to.
Yeah, and let me just add and say that exactly that is what the proposal is also, I mean, the call is also saying. We're encouraging the youth to be also, principal investigators, lead persons. But then that does not preclude others who are even more qualified to kind of work with that youth who is leading. And that is the idea, actually. Yeah. So the youth leads, but he or she can be basically backed by individuals who are even senior than him or her in the discipline. Yeah.
Just a follow-up question while we're talking about youth. The question is, what is the definition of youth? What is the age limit? I know in South Africa, youth is anyone from 18 to 35 years of age. I'm not sure what it is in the other regions.
Yeah, usually that is a very big debate. And from my standpoint, actually youth should start from 2 years. But then according to the United Nations definition, it is exactly what you mentioned, 18 to 35 there around. And so with regard to AAP, basically that is where we lie. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll just take a few more questions. Thank you everyone for really being engaging and interacting with us via the Q&A. We'll try to answer as many questions as possible before we wrap up. Just two more questions. Can AAP member institutions do something like a public awareness to staff? If so, can we get such presentations and tools for the awareness?
I think that's an excellent idea. I see that comes from Dr. Kaya at University of Dar es Salaam. And yes, I think that's an excellent idea. Let's have a conversation with our focal points about how to promote this at your institutions and provide those resources for you.
Thanks, Amy. Yeah, I definitely think that it is useful for us to be able to share some of this information and tools so that we can also take it back to our institutions and channel the information to other team members and colleagues. Then just one last comment. Thank you for a fantastic initiative. A question on the diaspora strand. Are diaspora organizations eligible?
I was just responding to, typing because I see that we're running out of time. But yes, diasporic organizations are eligible, but not to be the lead institutions. As we mentioned, who would be the PIs, where they would be coming from. But of course, you can have partners that includes other types of organizations. So an organization that is a diasporic organization can certainly be a partner in a project, but it's led by an MSU PI, an African AAP University PI, and then from one of the regions, Latin America or the Caribbean. Thanks.
Okay, colleagues, I'm mindful of time. Can I ask that we wrap up? Perhaps Justin and Amy can give us an indication of where our colleagues can send further questions and who they can reach out to further engage and get clarity on some of their questions.
Yes, thank you, Tembi. I know we have a lot more questions that are out there. One thing I want to highlight is that we are partnering with MSU's Global Ideas office unit and up to hold a grant writing workshop in which we'll continue to answer these questions. That's on October 14th. And so there'll be a question and answer session during that time, and as well as some resources provided, some training provided on how to construct a successful grant proposal or a quality grant proposal. So we thank our colleagues from Global Ideas for supporting us in that way, and really being a partner on these PIRA grants. The other thing I want to be sure to mention, I've put it in the discussion in the chat, but the website for the AAP Bridge is just aapbridge.com. So that should be easy to find. And then you can reach out to us on other questions that you might have at our email address, aap@msu.edu. And we've shared that in the chat as well. Justin, any wrap up to add here?
I think you covered it. I just stuck in the chat the 2 landing pages for PIRA and AAP Bridge that go into a bit more depth than we were able to get into today. So hopefully that should answer a lot of people's questions. Otherwise, if we didn't address your question, just feel free to reach out to us directly.
And then I think Josiah was going to close us out.
Just a quick one. I've tried to answer the questions in the chat, in the Q&A, sorry. So I hope that, I didn't see the responses, but I'm hoping that somebody's seeing them. I don't know who, but I clicked send response. So hopefully you've seen those. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Jose. I would like to thank everybody for finding time to attend this launch. I think it marks the beginning and we should keep it engaging and watch out for further events. Please make good use of the bridge and PIRA. Thank you everyone for coming. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good.
Thank you all.